So I just read all of Platinum End. Platinum End was a series that I was extremely excited to read, mainly because this is a series from the creators of Death Note and Bakuman. If you watch my recent top 20 manga video, you know I'm a massive fan of those series. And about a year ago, I read the first volume of Platinum End, and I loved it. I thought it was great. It wasn't perfect, but it definitely had potential to become something amazing. Now that I'm doing the February manga challenge, I finally had time to read all that is out of Platinum End, all 5 volumes. And I had such high hopes. I was really excited. I just really wanted to love this series. But the interesting thing though, and I didn't think of this at the time, but the interesting thing was that I haven't heard anyone talk about this series. Not since it first came out anyway. All throughout 2016, I haven't seen any hype, which was kind of weird because I mean this is from the guys who made friggin' Death Note. I haven't seen anyone reviewing it, I haven't seen anyone talking about it. Nevertheless, I was really looking forward to reading it. So I read the second volume of Platinum End. And this is when I realized why no one was talking about Platinum End. Because Platinum End is complete shit. How did the guys who brought us some of the most cleverly written, interesting, and most acclaimed manga ever give us such a generic, boring, nonsensical piece of crap? I just couldn't believe it. I mean, Power Rangers of the football game. I'm just gonna do a brief rundown of how crappy this series has been. But first off, I do have to applaud Takeshi Obata for the artwork here because it is honestly phenomenal. Easily his best looking manga to date, and it's just a shame that the artwork is wasted on such a crappy story. So if you don't know the story of Platinum End, it's really similar to Future Diary. You have a bunch of god candidates, they're all fighting to the death to become god. They all have these different powers. They could have wings that allow them to fly at super fast speeds. They can also shoot red arrows at people, which makes those people fall in love with them and do whatever they say. Then there are also white arrows which instantly kill people. Every god candidate has an angel following them, and the god candidates are chosen by the angels when they have pretty much given up the will to live, if they're about to commit suicide. So our main character Mirai is about to jump off a building, but he gets saved by an angel at the last minute. Here's the thing, Mirai is a little emo bitch. He has no personality at all. He gets barely any character development. And the girl he likes, Saki, who also just magically happens to be a god candidate, is also a terrible character. Like there's just nothing about her that stands out at all. Future Diary was crap, but I mean at least I can remember those characters. Like for better or worse, I could remember all the things they did, I can remember what their personalities were like. This series just has nothing. You just got these two bland, like super bland main characters. The guy with cancer who is admittedly a bit better, but still not that great. You have the angels who are so friggin' annoying. They don't even feel like they fit in this like dark, gritty seinen manga. They feel like something from a Disney movie. Then you have the villain who is, oh god, don't even get me started. And the story that all of these characters are in is just so convoluted and messy. If you want to know what I mean, just read volume 2. It is a complete mess. And so many of the other things that have happened haven't really been that big a deal. They've been kind of boring. There's one part in volume 3 where I was like, oh, things could be getting pretty interesting. But then almost immediately I was like, oh, never fucking mind. But Joel, the series is just getting started. They never said how long it could be. We could be in for 20 more years of Platinum End. It could get a lot better. We could learn a lot more about these characters. Maybe so, but the story still shouldn't be shit after 5 volumes. Instead of a series starting off bad and getting better over time, it should start good and get better over time. And think about it, volume 5 was almost the halfway point of Death Note. And honestly, the way the series is going doesn't make it seem like it's going to be all that long. I'd even say it's safe to assume to think we're at least a quarter done already, which is just not good. Because everything we've gotten so far has been pretty bad. So yeah, I was just so disappointed. I could not believe it was this bad. I wouldn't have been surprised if, I didn't think it was as good as Death Note. But aside from the artwork, there is honestly nothing in here that I enjoyed. So for that reason, I will not be picking up any more volumes of Platinum End as they get released. I will also be temporarily dropping this series, and I will return to it once the series finishes in hopes that they eventually do spit out something worth reading. But as it stands, Platinum End is just not something I think people should be spending their money on. Although to its credit, the series actually did do a pretty good job of putting me in the place of its main character, and that I have now lost the will to live. So if you never do hear about me again after this video, then just don't worry about it, cause it's what I want.